Despite having 24 hours each day, for many of us young adults, it feels like it's just 16 hours divided into two parts, where you have 8 hours for work and the other eight resting and preparing for work. Hi guys, I'm Bola and welcome to the channel. I used to come home from work feeling drained and restless all at once. It was easier to flop down on the couch, scroll through social media, and watch the clock tick away. And by the time I glanced up, the evening had evaporated into a blur of stress and missed opportunity where I could have spent time developing a business strategy or even learning a new skill, as well as even spending time with family. Remember that this takes intentionality. Whatever you want to do, you have to be intentional. The first thing I did is to create a distraction-free environment. So once I get home, the first thing I do is toss my phone away. For a lot of people, I know a lot of people can relate to this. Our biggest obstacle, for me, my biggest obstacle was my phone. Not just social media, but having to do one thing or the other on your phone. Most times, it was social media actually. Most times, social media. You find yourself in a box where you're checking notifications every 5 minutes, and the next thing you know, you're spending over an hour scrolling aimlessly on the streets of Instagram. So the first thing I did is to create like a mini digital detox. So practical steps: when I get home, I drop my phone in my drawer, not on my table. This might seem or feel rigid, but when you have a goal and you're aiming to somewhere, you have to take the high road. So the first thing I do is to stash my phone in the drawer. And if for any reason I needed to attend to an important call from a friend or a family, I do that and I dip. And if I had to respond to messages, I allow myself a quick glance and I stash it away. It's amazing how this works because psychologically, removing distraction, it trains your mind to focus on the present moment. It's like you're telling your brain or reprogramming your brain, we are here now, let's engage with what's in front of us right here. Without my phone lighting up pings and notifications here and there, I felt the evening was longer and I had more time to read a book, spend time with people that matter the most to me over the phone, and even plan, like write scripts for my YouTube. The second thing you want to do is plan your evenings. I know this sounds like, plan, but it's the truth. Every single thing you need to do, be it your financial goal or your weight loss goal, you have to have a clear plan. So what I do is before I leave from work, in fact, before the day starts, I already have like my to-do list. This isn't just for activities at work. It also includes like after work, what I have to achieve at work and what I would love to do also when I get home. Say for instance, I want to film a video or edit a video or learn something online or learn a few editing tricks. It all goes into my to-do list for the day. It's also a good plan to keep you rolling when you get home. So just by mapping out my evening goals, nothing too lofty, easy doable task like reading 3 chapters of a book that I started, meal prepping for the week, it gave me a sense of direction, and not just a sense of direction, a sense of fulfillment. And it offered flexibility because I knew what I wanted to do immediately I get home before bedtime. The next thing I did was to introduce a quick evening ritual. I know routines might sound boring, but it does anchor your day in a surprisingly comforting way. And my evening ritual involved a sequence of activities that I did right after I had dinner or I made dinner. The next thing I do is to make my turmeric and ginger tea. After I do that, I write down 3 highlights of my day. Remember, 3 highlights of your day. It could be not so great, but I always like to focus on the good parts. So I replay the whole thing in my head and it kind of makes me calmer. It does make me calmer because this tiny window of self-care of just 10 minutes signaled that my day was winding down in a more constructive way. As experts at Psychology Today explains, rituals help us process the day's events and reduce stress by giving us a predictable structure. So even if your ritual is washing your face, doing your skincare, slapping on a bit of moisturizer, all that good stuff, a consistent pattern can ease your mind into a more mindful state. The first strategy was to experiment on my work-life balance because I always struggled to separate productivity from leisure. So say I worked on something personal or even work related and I decided to rest, I often would feel guilty for not doing so much. And if I had relaxed or if I decided to relax, it always feels like, oh, you're not being productive. So it was always that struggle in my head. And then I end up getting overwhelmed. So what I did was to allocate a solid 30 minutes to focus on a task, like organizing my closet, followed by 15 minutes of guilt-free downtime. So now this 15 minutes is where you want to be careful, because trust me, it is easy to zone out. And most times my 15 minutes free time usually has to do with checking my Instagram, because I have an online business. I also check to see if there are any DMs. And that 15 minutes can be very crucial, because you might end up spending 1 hour or even more than you bargained for. In recent time, instead of hopping on Instagram, what I do now is I play games on my phone, because somehow the games on your phone, as opposed to social media where you're just scrolling aimlessly, some of these games helps your brain stay alert, because you're solving puzzles, you're trying to score points. So it sort of helps your brain to stay alert. It's a simple hack, and it can make your after work life feel more structured and meaningful. The problem isn't just about time management, it is about the mindset. So because you had a tough day at work, you feel like once you get back home, you just want to zone out. Or if I'm feeling overwhelmed by some of the bigger goals that I hope to have achieved, and it feels like I'm still underplaying my weights. So I just tell myself, why even bother when I get home? Why even bother by the baby steps? The final thing I did was to find a reason to look forward to the evening. For me, my motivation is off through the roof when I know that there's an exciting reward. Well, not sort of a reward, but there's just something exciting to look forward to. So I have like a boost of energy. Remember, this is one. This shouldn't be your greatest motivation to do better in the evening, but always have something that you're looking forward to. Think of it as a positive reinforcement. For me, it was to meal prep. I enjoy cooking for myself, cooking healthy meals, and it was something that always it was a reinforcement for me, because I knew that if I eat better, if I cook better, I'm going to look better physically, overall. So that was something exciting that I always look forward to. And I always like to romanticize my food. I don't know, but it works for me. Savoring every little detail, from picking the ingredients to cooking to prepping for the week. So in my head, just knowing that I have a week sorted out, it is great motivation. It is a boost of energy for me to want to get back home and get started with it. One evening, I even spent my laundry time listening to sermons and just worshiping. There was a sermon playing in the background. After that, there was instrumentals, just something to uplift your spirit. And if you're a believer, you know the importance of spending time with the word and just getting and growing spiritually. So that was something I always look forward to. You'll be surprised how productivity doesn't feel like a chore when you pair it with something you truly enjoy and something that makes you happy. Like I said, spending time with God, spending time with family, those are key things that makes me feel genuinely happy. So yeah, these are a few strategies, and I'm sure if you implement these things, you're going to see progress and you're going to see growth. Thank you guys for watching. Do like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more epic content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.